Hours before the departure, in Alice's lab, we see the zombies tear up and kill one of their own. In the experiment, Alice stopped the test. "Did you see that? I was right! The dead can be tricked into killing one of their own!" she said ecstatically. "I need to go tell the general about this," she said, excited. Alice went around and walked in the hallway and heard shouting. She looked, seeing blood on the ground and dead Patriots. She then saw Chris running away as another man left. What in the world is going on? She was scared. Later, we then see Patriots wrapping up Chris's body outside with broken glass as his bloody hand is covered. Cade looks on, looking indifferent. In their rooms, we see Jessica and the boys in complete distraught as Jessica pushes Liza away from her in disbelief and anger. In Huntington, we see a montage of Rachel walking up and heading to the doctor's office. She greets Dr. Roberts as she receives a checkup. She tests her weight and gets measured. She was wearing a hospital gown as she held onto her stomach. Tyler was holding her hand. Dr. Roberts comes in. "Good morning, Rachel. I'm sorry to have kept you waiting," she said. "It's all right. I'm not in a hurry," she said. She used her stethoscope, placing the cold part on Rachel's stomach. Rachel cringed from it. "Sorry, forgot to warn you," she apologized. Dr. Roberts continued to listen. She finished. "The baby's heartbeat is very good, but She stopped. "Tyler, would you mind stepping outside for a little bit, please?" she asked. Tyler looked on. "Okay, I'll be outside," he said, getting up. "No, Tyler should stay. I have no secrets with him," she said. Tyler smiled. "All right. I don't want to worry you, Rachel, but..." Rachel interrupted. "Is something wrong with the baby?" she asked. "What is it, Dr. Roberts? You said the heartbeat was healthy!" Tyler cried. Calm down. The baby is fine. It's about 14 inches long and weighs about 4 pounds at the moment. The baby isn't in any trouble." Rachel was confused. Tyler spoke. "Then what's the problem?" he asked. Dr. Roberts signed. "It's you, Rachel." Rachel's heart sank as Tyler looked on, scared. "What do you mean?" he asked. Rachel looked at her stomach. "Rachel, you weighed 94 pounds before your pregnancy. You've put on some weight, but you are still definitely not the ideal weight for a woman your age for a safe delivery," she continued. "You're still underweight, and your stress levels are not doing you any favors either. The baby is getting all the necessary food from your body, but it's severely draining you. If you don't reduce your stress levels and put on more weight soon, then you'll..." she said before stopping. "Then I'll..." Rachel said, concerned. "Then you could die from the delivery," she stated. Rachel and Tyler were shocked as their mouths opened, unable to say anything. Back in Helios, in his office, we see Trevor sitting down, eating an apple. Benjamin's teammates come inside as Trevor greets them. Calvert, Brent, Lannon, and the others. "How would you men say Benjamin has been as your commanding officer?" he asked. "He's been very efficient," they stated. "Well, that's good," he said. "Because I need you to kill him for me," he said. The men were dead silent. Excuse me, sir?" "Oh, sorry, apple in my mouth. I need to stop eating while talking." He finished his food. "I want you to fucking kill him for me. If you do, I'll make it worth your while. But if you guys don't, well, let's just say you won't have to worry about your families anymore. Or anything else ever again," he said. "I want that fucking psychopath dead. I want him gone," he told them. "And I want it done now," he threatened. In the infirmary, we see Benjamin packing up when Dr. Evans hands him a first aid kit. "For your trip, be careful," he said. Benjamin thanked him, shaking his hand before leaving. He looked into the first aid kit. Later, we see everyone all packing up. Liza looked at a crying Jessica, who was sitting next to the boys. "It was an accident," she said. "And you believe him? Chris is in the ground right now. That monster murdered him, and you're defending him." "Jessica," Liza tried to say, "you're dead to me. she said. Jessica, please don't say that. Dylan shouted at her. Get out of here! We never want to see you again! He shouted at his aunt. Liza left crying upset before closing the door. How did they take it? He asked. Liza turned to him. The hell you think? You murdered their father, she said, pissed. I know, he said. Why don't you stay here? He said. I'm going to take 100 men and head for Lincoln. You can stay here and hold the fort. Take some time, he said. I was already planning on it, she said. Caden took her hand. I will make this up to you, to them. I promise, he said. Liza removed her hand, not saying a word. We see the soldiers all packing up, getting ready to leave. Make sure to take the crates, Caden shouted. They looked at the crates. Are they really ready to operate? He said. Yes, sir. These babies are good to go. The boys in the labs tested them, and I saw them myself. Even the CRM aren't prepared for these, he said. The men all packed up, as Benjamin also got into one of the trucks. Hunter, you're with me, Caden said. Benjamin looked at him. He paused. Hunter, now! Benjamin listened and got in the shotgun. Caden was driving. Benjamin was so close to him. He looked at his neck. He could kill him right now. Benjamin was itching to do it. Venge Girl, Chris, Peter, William, and the others. Just so you fucking know, I know you had something to do with the security room. I'm gonna make you fucking regret it once I prove it, but not now. I got too many things to deal with right now, he said. We see Trevor going up to Liza. I'm sorry for your loss, he told her. Liza was surprised. Thank you, she said. I'll see you when we get back. Hope things get better, he said, walking away. Back with Rachel and Tyler, he assures her that everything was going to be okay. As he kept talking, Rachel zoned out as she looked around. Rachel? Rachel? He asked. Rachel snapped out of it as she looked around. Something's wrong, she stated. Rachel and Tyler left the hospital as Rachel looked around the city. She looked everywhere. What? Rachel, what's wrong? He asked. Rachel looked around nervously. The citizens tried to wave to her, but she ignored them. Something is wrong. Where is everyone? She asked. We see Rachel going to the Wright's house. She knocks on the door. She waits as Charlotte opens the door. Good morning, Rachel. It's nice to see you, she greeted, but Rachel interrupted. Sorry to intrude, Mrs. Wright. Is Patrick here? She asked. Oh no, he left to go hunting earlier today, she told her. Hunting? With the guns? She asked. What about Kath? She asked. Gone too. Adrian? Tyler asked. He also went with Patrick, she told him. All of them? She asked. What's wrong? He asked. Rachel was nervous. We see Rachel go outside and take her radio. Attention everyone! Has anybody seen the Wright family? She asked. I need a head count, she stated. We see citizens looking in the homes. They see signs of packed bags, and many civilians were missing. You don't think they... Tyler said. Rachel was terrified. On the road, we see Hill and several Patriots in their vehicles as he looks at a picture of his family. He pockets it as he continues driving. Sir? The soldier next to him said. He looked down and saw the road blockade, a bunch of cut trees in the streets. Shit! Attention all teams! Stay on guard. We got a blockade, he told them. He stopped the Humvee as he looked around. Stay on guard. This could be an he said when a bullet passed through the window, nearly hitting him. Fuck! He ducked as the Patriots were getting ambushed. In the woods, we see Patrick firing his rifle into the street. His team opens fire, killing several Patriots. Some Patriots tried to turn their cars around, but they stopped. Oh, fuck! The soldier said. They looked, seeing a group of the dead coming to them. In the herd, we see Adrian covered in walker guts as he was leading them. He fires some flares in the Patriots' direction. In the woods, we see Kat holding a rifle. She fires it. She snipes the soldier in the head as his blood sprays on Hill. He ducks back to cover as he moves around. Obadiah and Manny fired from the other side of the road. Manny aimed his rifle seeing the woman. He fired, killing her, as he moved into the next one. The Patriots tried to drive through the herd, but Adrian lights up a bottle. He wields the Molotov cocktail and throws it at the car. The Patriots swerve into the woods, hitting the trees. The soldiers were trying to regain their composure when a walker came to the door opening it. Adrian aimed his gun, firing, killing 2 Patriots, shooting them both dead. He backed away as the walkers crawled inside to eat their corpses. Back in the fight, Obadiah fired his gun as he began to breathe heavily. He takes deep breaths as he looks, seeing the Patriots screaming as the dead tear into them. We see a young man firing his gun in the countryside as many soldiers are trying to find cover. The men on the other side were shouting in Russian as they fired at them. Suddenly a soldier threw a grenade as it exploded. Many men were set on fire as they screamed. Bud! Fucking move! A man said, grabbing him. Obadiah was pushed to the ground as Manny and the others fired at the Patriots. Obadiah snapped out of his trance and picked up his gun. He fired, killing several walkers that were sneaking up on them. He moved forward as Kat fired her gun, killing another Patriot. Hill tried to move through the woods when he was face to face with Obadiah. Bud aimed his gun as Hill raised his hands. Shit, he said. Obadiah continued to hold him at gunpoint. Get the hell out of here. Right now, he ordered. Obadiah aimed somewhere and fired. Go now! He said. Hill took a deep breath and ran, turning back as Obadiah keeps his word, letting him go. Obadiah watches him leave as Manny goes to him. Hey, what the hell was that? He asked. Obadiah looked at him angry. I'm glad you're okay too, he said, walking away. We see Patrick and everyone finishing up the last of the dead. Elsewhere, we have Liza sitting at the bar. She gets a drink. Thanks, Owen, she said. Alice comes beside her. Commander, is everything all right? She asked. Not really, she said. I just need some time, she said. Time for what? She asked. To figure things out. I need a break from everything, she said. Alice stands next to her. Just water, she said. Owen nodded. You don't seem happy, ma'am, as Liza downed her liquor. Huh, you could say that again. Honestly, Alice, savor your youth, she said. It goes away before you even know it, she said. I invested so much time and energy into Jessica and the boys and other things. And what do I have to show for it, she said. Who's gonna remember me, she said, upset, drinking her whiskey. We all will. Do you want to talk about it? She asked. Not really, she said. It's just, sometimes you feel like everything slips away from you. You try to do the best, but it's still not good enough, she said. Of course, we all feel like that. But we're our own worst critics, she said, drinking water. How the fuck are you supposed to deal with it? People think being second in command is easy, but hell, they don't know shit about shit, she said. Sometimes it's not just the soldiers and doctors and civilians, it's also him. I have to do everything for him, and there's always some sort of mistake he has to point out, she told him. Who, the general? Why don't you tell him that, she asked. Like he'd listen, she said. Well, you won't know unless you try. I mean, you're not afraid of the CRM, biters, or dying, but you're afraid of telling him you feel unappreciated? She asked. Liza thought about it. I have to go. Goodbye, Dr. Warren. Put it on my tab, Owen, she said, leaving abruptly. Wait! Alice tried to stop her, but to no avail. We see Angela and her brothers as they were walking in the woods. Ethan went to her. Are you scared? He asked. No. I mean a little, yes, she said. That's good. You need to be a little scared. It makes you smarter, like Dad said. I always wonder what would have changed if Mom was still around, she said. Mom was the smart one in the family, she said. Lies. I'm smart, Ethan said. You got straight D's in school, she said back. Josh then went to her. Are you okay, Josh? She asked. I'm scared. I've never killed anyone before, she said. You think Mom would just be disappointed in us? He asked. No, of course not, she said. Why? He asked. Because Mom taught us to fight for what's right in the world. She taught us that not everything will be easy or make sense, but that one day life will call on us to make hard choices. We can't just sit on the fence and let the world go to hell. I hear you. I owe Rachel my life, and we're gonna free her from these people, so that they don't get us too, Ethan told her. If it wasn't for her and Carla, we would have lost our home, so we're doing this. The bastard who killed her has to pay for what he did, he said. I know, she said. I wish I was there for her. After all of this, we live our lives the way we want to, not by how others say, she said. This will work out. I know it will, she said. Many hours later, we see Benjamin and the others make it to the outskirts of Lincoln City, Nebraska. We walk from here, Caden said. Benjamin and the others got out as his team followed him. Hunter, you guys take that building. Avoid patrol movement. No gunshots. Not yet. We don't want to let them know we're here. Keep radio chatter dead. We've got jammers in the vicinity, he said. Another hour later, Benjamin and them make it past to the top of the tall building and looked past the city. They saw a massive stadium that had zombies heading towards it. He checked his binoculars, seeing troop movement in the streets. His team brought out the crates. They opened them as they pulled out giant devices with blades. You have drones? Benjamin said, mildly amazed. Yes, we do. They turned them on as the drones started spinning. The different squads took the drones in different locations in the city. We see the drones hovering over the overrun streets of the city, avoiding the CRM. At the stadium, we see the zombies blow up in the field as loud music is playing. Benjamin looks at it. What the hell kind of a place is this? Brent asked. Some kind of herding facility. They're bringing the dead into the stadium, but why? He asked. Benjamin and his team packed up, getting ready. The parachutes were marked as Trevor handed him his. These are your parachutes. This one is yours, he told him. Not scared of heights, are you? He said. No, not at all, Lieutenant, Benjamin said back. Don't fuck this up, and try not to die, he told him. I won't, Benjamin said, walking away. Trevor and the rest of them went back down, heading for the streets, leaving Benjamin and the others. Elsewhere, at the hydroelectric dam, we see dead Patriots as several more were on their knees. What are your names? Patrick asked him. Anthony, one man said. Private Anthony Parker. George Ponders, another Patriot said. They were taken away with bags on their heads as Patrick and the others moved around through the building as they freed everyone. Jose, it's good to see you, he handed him a gun. Are Dan and Alexa okay? He asked. Rachel sent them on a mission to find reinforcements months ago. We haven't heard from them since, he told him. Can I get a ride back to the city? He asked. I'm sorry, Jose, but we can't spare any cars right now. We need everyone to pull this off. In one of the rooms, Kat sits down and takes a deep breath. I don't know how much more I can do this, she said, exhausted. Yeah, I know what you mean, he said. You know, you don't have to go with us. You can stay, he said. Not gonna happen. I just want this to be over with, she said. Same, he said. I killed maybe 6 Patriots? God, I feel like I can do it again, but also like I'm gonna throw up, he said. We can't go back now. The Patriots will want revenge for this, on everyone back home, she said. They will, but we won't let them. We're gonna win this, he said. How do you know? She asked. Adrian smiles, taking her hand. Because I want more time with you after this war is over, and I don't plan on dying, he said, kissing her cheek. Inside the city, we see in the field multiple explosions occur, blowing up hundreds of the dead at a time. Multiple CRM soldiers were patrolling inside the hallways. Sector 4, all clear, one stated. The dead stopped. Wave 37 down. We see the CRM soldiers open a small door. They move a roller with C4 explosive as they quickly begin to plant them on the ground for the next wave of the dead. Elsewhere, Miles and the others went through the city. They moved quietly through the dark streets. Trevor was moving with Myers and the rest of their team. They used heat scanners and saw several CRM soldiers in the city spread out. I've got 6 targets across on the north side building, 30 yards, he stated. They moved around the other way, sneaking past him. Go, now, he stated. Miles and them then fired on them, using suppressed weapons, killing all of them as they continued moving. Team Beta, report, they stated. Sir, Team Beta hasn't checked in for 5 minutes, they stated. Sending Delta 2 to investigate, they stated. Some soldiers began to leave the stadium and head into the city. On the roof, Benjamin and them were listening on the radios, waiting, but they were dead. Jammers are still on. We don't have much time before they realize we're on them, he said. Seeing Private Brent was scared. Afraid of the jump? He asked. A little, he stated. Trust me, there are worse ways to go. You're not going to die from this. I won't allow it, he told them. Benjamin turned to his team. All right, where's my parachute? Benjamin asked. Right here, sir, Landon said as Benjamin took it. I want all of you to recheck our equipment, he said. We need to make sure everything is working before we take the stadium, he told them. Suddenly, a bright light was shining on and off from a rooftop as Benjamin watched. It was Morse code. Drop time. Land east side, he told them. Benjamin grabbed a parachute and then looked back. Miles used his binoculars to look. Seeing the stadium doors, a herd entered the stadium doors before closing. He looked, seeing soldiers leave through another opening. Sir, another team is approaching, he said. Miles and them got ready, aiming their guns. Suddenly, Benjamin and them heard gunfire in the far distance. Engaging! Engaging! Benjamin put on his shoe. Shoot! Now! Jump time! He said. But they've been spotted! Our cover is blown! Calvin said. Fucking jump, or I throw you off the building myself! He ordered. Benjamin and all of them jumped off the building. They dropped in the air as Benjamin pulled his chute. The parachute worked as Benjamin smiled. The other soldiers pulled their cord. Benjamin pulled his cord. The chute jumped out and wasn't connected. He screamed before falling to his death. He dropped all the way down, exploding in a red mist as he splat against the ground. Benjamin and the others, while gliding, slowly made their way to the stadium with the night sky covering them. Many hours earlier, we see Dr. Evans hand Benjamin the med kit. He looks inside, finding a note. Trevor intends to kill you. Brent heard the plot against you on mission. Don't trust Calvert and Lannon, it said. Meanwhile, Evans looks at his note, opening it up before checking his watch. Benjamin then looked at the note before ripping it to shreds. In the present, Benjamin and the others landed on the stadium roof with their chutes. Wait, where's Lannon? Calvert asked, as Benjamin smirked. Back when Miles and his team, the zombies in the city, started coming for them while firing at Where's fucking Trevor? I need some damn reinforcements! We're trying, sir, but there are more soldiers in the city than we anticipated, he stated. I don't care! Get me some fucking reinforcements! He said. He fired his gun at the CRS. Quick! Cut through this building! We'll exit on the other side! In the woods, we see zombies as they look. There was a massive hole in the ground. Oh, no, Rachel said. Our guns! Everything! It's all gone! Rachel said, horrified. I'm so stupid! He's going after the Patriots! Rachel said. This is bad. This is really bad, she said, scared. Tyler comforted her. Hey, it's going to be okay, he said. I'm such an idiot! I trusted him! But he was leading a revolution this whole time! I fell for it! Rachel screamed. They're all gonna die because of me! She cried. In the Patriots van, we see Patrick and the army driving past a welcome between the air and sign. Pat snuggles next to Adrian. Adrian, she said, after this is over, when we win, I want to have a baby, she told him. Adrian was surprised. Wait, really? He asked. She nodded. So that's what's been bugging you, he asked. I know having a kid is dangerous in this world, especially now, but I want to do this with you. You're the only person in this world that I can trust having a kid with, Kat. I'm glad I have you sticking by me. I know I can be a real prick sometimes, and dense and stubborn as hell, but us, I don't want to lose that. It's too important to me. If you want to try having a baby after this, then I'll do it too, he said. Kat smiled and took his hand. Okay, let's get this over with first, and then we'll try, she said. Adrian smiled for what felt like the first time in months. In the hallway, we see someone walking. In their room, Jessica and the boys finish packing up as she checks her watch. It was exactly 2 p.m. Unlocking a door for Jessica. She comes through. We see Dr. Evans and several other doctors and civilians as they hurry. They quietly make it to the elevator and get inside. We need to hurry, even when most of them gone. There's guards everywhere, she said. You boys stay quiet and follow me, okay? She whispered, as they nodded. Jessica and the boys left the room as they opened the elevator. How will we get to the tunnels? We don't have the card, she said. It's okay, the doctor said. He pressed the emergency stop. Another person then opened the emergency hatch. A soldier drugged out of his mind told me everything. Doctors make better interrogators than people think. He doesn't even remember, he told them. He left the elevator. I have one more thing I need to do, he said, going outside into the hallway, seeing a fire alarm. Check that fire alarm! I want a full lockdown! Liza shouted on the radio. We see Liza opening the door to their bedroom before seeing that there was no one in the room. Jessica? Boys? She asked. She saw that the drawers were open and no sign of any of them. She kept looking everywhere for them, but no luck. Shit, she said. She grabbed her walkie. Commander, we have a situation, the soldier said. Yes, we do! My family is missing! We're under attack! He said, as the window exploded in a massive spray of glass. Liza was distorted, but regained her composure as her head was slightly bleeding. She then drew her gun and began to look outside. Outside, you see Patrick and the other soldiers with a group of Patriot hostages on their knees. They opened fire again at the buildings. Cat fired, killing a sniper from the rooftop. They fired back and forth. Hold your fire! Hold your fire! Patrick then got on the megaphone. Bring Miles here, or we kill every one of your people, starting with the ones on their knees, he stated. Liza looked out the destroyed window. We see Patrick, Adrian, Obadiah, Manny, Miranda, Angela, Josh, and Ethan, and dozens of others. They were all armed to the teeth, with the Patriots' own vehicles behind them. Back in Lincoln, Benjamin and his team stood up on the roof. They started getting rid of their chutes and pulling grappling hooks and ropes from their bags. Benjamin and them looked inside and watched as the zombies were growling loudly inside the field stadium. There were thousands of them. The inner part was all packed as Benjamin looked, seeing Sarah from the lower levels. Benjamin held up his hand, giving the all-clear sign. He pulled out a grappling harness and hooked it in place, wrapping himself with it. Benjamin signaled them as they slowly and quietly lowered themselves. Not here, it'll make too much noise, Brent whispered to the others. Brent lowered Benjamin as he saw the glass balcony. Benjamin then began to swing himself as he released his harness onto the roof of the executive suite at the stadium. No one heard him. In Helios, we see Alice closing up, getting ready to leave, as Sean offers to clean up for her. She thanks him before taking off. Sean then smiles as Alice leaves. Sean then stops smiling. He quickly grabs a chair and barricades the lab door. He then goes to the drawer and then begins picking the lock. The drawer opens as Sean pulls out a handgun as he checks the ammo. He starts packing them as he pulls out a concealed backpack from underneath the desk. He zipped it up. Sometime later, we see 2 guards walking inside the facility. Looks like we got another body to burn for Dr. Warren, one of them said. Why the hell does she even do this anyways? The dead are simple. We're alive and they're not. Don't get bit and shoot them in the head, he said. Hell if I know, honestly. But it's what the general wants. They opened the closet and began to take the body bags away. As they did, they began to put them on the hospital bed and slowly began to roll it. In a hallway, we see Dr. Evans looking around as he is carrying a backpack. He goes over to the fire alarm. Outside, we see the men make it a good distance from the spot as they set the body bag downwards. After they finish setting it down, suddenly the alarm starts blasting. What the hell? They said, turning around. Why is the fire alarm going off? they asked. I don't know, the other said, as the black body bag behind them started to move. He was getting up. The bag opened as one of them turned around. Oh shit! He said before a gun was raised and fired at his head, killing him. The shooter aimed it at the other one, dropping him dead as he dropped his gun. Both men fell dead onto the ground. Sean slowly started to emerge from the back. He looked, seeing them. He got up fast as he quickly moved, going over to them, and quickly taking all their ammo, guns, and a key they had on them. He even took a radio. Check that fire alarm! I want a full lockdown! Liza shouted, as Sean listened on. Sean took it before putting them all inside the bag. Sean zipped it up as he quickly turned to the car. The soldiers drove away and headed towards it. For the first time in months, he was free. Backward Benjamin and his team engaged with CRM soldiers in the hallway. He fired, killing several of them as one tossed a grenade. Move! He shouted as a soldier was blown to bits. Guts sprayed on Benjamin and the others. Keep moving! He shouted as they moved to the side to get a better angle. Other soldiers were coming. They were outnumbered, and the CRM soldiers were pressing through. Benjamin and them ran to the other hall as they looked. Benjamin looked, seeing a map. This way! He ordered. The men ran into the hall, hitting a dead end. Fuck! Calvert shouted. The CRM soldiers were boxing them in, but Benjamin came around the corner, dropping multiple flashbangs as they exploded, blinding their enemies. Now! Benjamin fired his rifle as the others fought with his command. Benjamin covered the other Patriot soldiers as he moved to the side. A female Patriot was shot, but Benjamin helped the girl up. She was bleeding. Don't let them get any closer! He shouted. Benjamin fired his gun. He saw several soldiers screaming. He took the wounded soldier's gun and handed her a pistol. Go now! He said. Benjamin carried her away from the fight as they retreated into another room. They barred the doors with seats as he laid her down. Hand me my first aid kit! He ordered. Benjamin opened her leg up as he placed a blue plastic tube in her mouth. Bite down on this! He ordered her. She obeyed as Benjamin went in her leg with tweezers, pulling out the bullet shard. The girl screamed as Benjamin continued quickly disinfecting her wound with a spray and closing it. Alright, bandage her up now! Who else is hurt? He asked. His arm, someone said. Benjamin looked at another man. Dislocated? He said. Yeah, it hurts like hell, the soldier said. It should. Benjamin then took hold of the arm. Bite down. Okay, on 3. 1, 2, 3! And he pushed the arm, fully resetting it. Ah, shit! The man said. It'll be good. Get a splint, he told him. Calvert and the others looked on. Benjamin looked, seeing a random plaque on the wall. For his commitment and dedication to the CRM Calling Facility 15. J.S. Rourke. Benjamin was weirdly interested in it. It was the last one. Recent. He began to touch it. He snapped out of it. Alright, listen up! I'm going to scout ahead this way. Make sure we don't get boxed in. Anyone who's injured, lock yourselves in one of the rooms and hunker down. I'll use a 5-knock system when it's all clear, he told him. The rest of you can either stay here or tend to the injured, or follow me, he said, taking off. The soldiers all looked at each other as Calvert followed suit. Outside, Miles and Trevor placed a C4 block on the steel wall. Charge is set! He yelled. Trevor and him and his men moved as the C4 exploded, opening a hole in the barrier. Miles tossed a grenade, exploding. Knock! Knock! Fuck! Archers! It's me! He shouted. Trevor and the others followed him as they engaged more CRM soldiers. Back with Benjamin, he fired his gun, killing another CRM soldier. It was finally quiet now. He moved further through the hall before taking his bag out. Suddenly, some of his men aimed their guns at him. Don't make any moves, Black Wolf, Calvert told him. Benjamin smiled. So, you're gonna listen to your master, Trevor? And here I thought you wouldn't be such a bitch. He ordered you all to kill me. I know, Benjamin told him. How did you find out? They asked. I put a bug in his office weeks ago. Got it from the security room, Benjamin lied. He's been trying to kill me since day fucking 1. I knew he was going to do it. That's why I switched parachutes with Lennon, he told him. Come on, let's just do it, someone said. Just kill him! Do it now! You do it! What did he do? Threaten you? Your families? Benjamin asked. Some of us. Some would just sleep a hell of a lot better knowing you were Nick around. Honestly, I just wanted to do it. He didn't need to threaten me, he said. Benjamin had his hands raised and smiled. I'll make sure you die slow, coward. Benjamin said as he winked. Brent fired, killing him. Benjamin fired back at them as they moved to cover. You fucking snake, Brent! Why? He asked. Benjamin then moved to the side, gun raised. He moved alongside Brent. Thanks for being by my side, he said. I had to. Save my life. None of them would have done that, he said. Then let's kill them all, he said. They got on the radio, but it wasn't working. General, are you there? He asked. No response. Fucking jammers! He shouted. Benjamin and Brent opened fire, killing another Patriot as Calvert retreated. As him and Benjamin continued, you see that more CRM soldiers were coming, but Benjamin quickly closed the doors on them before locking it. Not that way, come on! He said, as they moved to the other hall. Benjamin then looked around. He heard so many gunshots around them, both from inside and outside the stadium. As Benjamin and his comrade ran, suddenly a grenade landed in front of them. As it exploded, the blast incinerated. It was complete chaos. Dead Patriots and CRM soldiers littered the floors, staining the floor crimson red as the night raged on. In the hallway, we see several CRM soldiers trying to run as one enters a room. What are you doing? He asked. Shutting off the power to the pens. We'll let the infected take them out, he said, holding the lever. Outside, Caden, Miles, and Trevor continued to lead their teams as they advanced. One zombie was coming closer to Trevor as he shimmed to the left, grabbing a random Patriot, using him as a shield. The man was bitten as he screamed. Better do you than me, he stated indifferently as he moved on. What the fuck is going on in there? He shouted. Inside the building, Benjamin got up, seeing some bits of shrapnel on his legs. The padding slowed them down, but they pierced his skin. He looked, seeing what was left of Brent. He reached, grabbing his dog tag and held it. He heard more soldiers coming and ran, and quickly got himself up as he took his gun and began to run the other direction. Shit! He cursed, seeing his ammo almost gone before heading into one of the rooms. It was an executive watch area. He barred the door and checked his ammo. He pocketed his remaining clips as he checked his bag, completely empty, no more ammo. Benjamin then broke the window before jumping into the seats. The soldiers broke through. He was gone. Suddenly, they saw a grenade roll to them. Hanging from the ledge, Benjamin aimed his gun, shooting it as it exploded, blasting the soldiers, causing him to fall. Benjamin fell a good distance, hitting the ground. Benjamin coughed and rolled to his side in pain. Benjamin tried to get up when he was tackled by Calvert as the two men rolled down the stadium stairs. They fell over, knocking over crates by the fence. The dead noticed them and snarled. Several black plastic boxes of C4 fell out of them. Benjamin saw them and was alarmed. However, Benjamin was grabbed from the back, being choked out. Benjamin grunted in pain, trying to break free from the chokehold. He tried to force Benjamin to the fence, but Benjamin pushed his foot against the seat and made him lose balance. He spun, grabbing his arms. He shoved Calvert into the fence. The soldier fried on the fence as he screamed in agony. He cooked alive as Benjamin closed his eyes as blood dripped down his face. He picked up his gun and looked back, seeing the walkers on the fence. They were frying. Suddenly, the power in the entire stadium shut off, submerging everything in complete darkness. What the fuck? Benjamin asked. He pulled out his emergency flare. The red flare lit up, giving him more light. He looked, seeing that there was no more gunfire in the hallways. His radio went off. Hunter! Hunter, report! Report your location! He finally heard from someone. Benjamin took it and pressed it. when it exploded in his hand as a bullet was fired. Blood shot out from Benjamin's hand as he screamed and hit for cover. He dropped his flare down next to the crates. The CRM soldier fired his rifle at him. Benjamin took cover by the stadium seats. Shit! It! He hid in the darkness as the soldier continued to fire. As Benjamin tried to fire back, he couldn't see the black soldier in the darkness. The soldier moved, accidentally kicking the flare into the boxes of plastic with his foot. Suddenly, the C4 plastics exploded, incinerating the soldier and blasting the entire section into flames. Outside, Caden and Trevor finished the last of the CRM soldiers that were treating their dead and injured. He's not reporting, Trevor stated. Sir, General? He asked. We then see Caden smile as they look, seeing a CRM helicopter. Look at that, Lieutenant. It's ours. We finally have one, he told him. Trevor looked. Can you fly it? He asked. I definitely want to try. Never even got a chance to before, he told him. General, about Hunter. I think suddenly a loud blast went off as they took cover. The stadium's roof exploded in fire as the roof collapsed. The stadium roof caved in. Large amounts of metal burned and collapsed. Inside the stadium, large amounts of broken fence and metal were everywhere. Fires were everywhere, burning and giving light to the dark stadium. Smoke was everywhere, as there were piles of rubble everywhere. In one of the piles was Benjamin lying down as he began to wake up from the explosion. His ears were ringing as he looked. He was pinned down by one of the steel beams. Couldn't break out. Ah! He screamed. When he looked, seeing that the walkers were coming from the fence was blown through with a giant hole in it. As the walkers were all coming through, Benjamin tried to break free. Come on! Benjamin continued to try and break free as the walkers were free, marching inside the stadium. Elsewhere, far away, Dan and Alexa were walking. He was deathly sick. Come on! Keep walking! We can't stay here! She said. Dan was smiling and laughing. What the hell are you laughing? He shouted. Because you didn't give up on me, he said. You could have left me miles ago. I'm happy I'm still here with you, he said. He dropped to the ground while puking. Alexa helped him up. Oh no, come on, please, she begged. He said, coughing. Alexa, I'm really sorry I couldn't help you. I don't want to burden you. But you have to help Rachel and the others back home, he said. Why? What's the point? She asked. Rachel's baby was a chance for me to do something that really mattered. The kid is the future. When I was a lawyer, I oversaw divorces for people before the world fell. Parents went to go find my sister. I never saw them again. They did a damn thing since the world ended. If we don't give everything we have now, there won't be anything left for anyone, he said, coughing in pain. Dan! She shouted. Alexa, please, keep going. Find Jose, anyone still out there, he said. You're dying for nothing. We couldn't find anyone, she said, crying. In life, we don't always see the light, but the tunnel ends eventually, he said. You can't give up before you succeed, because then you'll never find. You'll never know. We took a chance. You gave me a place to belong, and I loved every moment because I was with you, he said. Dad, what are you saying? She asked. He stopped. Dan? Dan? She shook him. Dan! Alexa cried out. He was gone. Dan died from his fever. Alexa cried uncontrollably, shouting and screaming in the rain. No! No, God, why? Don't leave me, please. I don't know what to do. I can't do this. In the distance, we see boots hitting the ground. A man pulls out a radio. Sir, I found something. Alexa kept crying over Dan as she heard footsteps. Alexa turned and looked, seeing several men on the road. They had guns. She was terrified. Suddenly, Dan opened his eyes, reanimated, and jumped at her. Alexa screamed in fear and horror as she tried to push him away. A soldier fired his gun several times. Blood smeared on the road as Alexa's screaming stopped. We see fresh blood as the rain kept drizzling as it cut to black.